everyone, it's Liz Holloway here from Liz Holloway Design and the Paper Fanatics. I am blogging with the Team Stamp It team, and this theme is about Mother's Day's card. So let's get started. Today I'm going to be using the Daisy Lane cling stamp, and it's a new stamp set that we received from Stamping Up at our onstage event that happened on April the 13th. And so we were all given a Daisy Lane, and I'd be happy to sign you. Okay, so there are a lot of cards that are talking about the floating cards, die cuts. Now, I don't have what they call a cling press and seal or something like that, and so what I did was I created my own using my own version. So I basically took one of these Mosaic sheet cardstock or designer paper, and basically what I did was I cut every single elements off the designer, and you got like the roses, and if you want hummingbirds, you can have hummingbirds. And then here is a piece that I am going to actually salvage, and so I'm taking my paper snips and taking it and snipping it as I go along. I'm turning my paper and then snipping it down. So this is the easiest way to do the fussy cutting. Now, I don't know whether the electronic cutter will cut them out, but if it does, let me know. Otherwise, you can do the fussy cutting. There is no dies for these, but this paper is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to cut a couple more out just in case that I need some more of the image. And so here I got like the butterfly, and I'm going to save all this. I love this paper because it's the mosaic look, and it's like if you dealt with tiles, this is awesome paper, and it's raised too. So here I'm just kind of like cutting it all out, moving my paper, not my scissors. And as my scissors is chomping down, that's when you move your paper. Okay, so here I'm gonna cut that. Okay, so then the next thing is what you need is a clear window sheet, and I cut this about a 1/4 inch smaller than what I have, and because you can't see it on the actual white paper, I'm going to bring in my red cardstock so that you actually can see. You can see a bit of the shine. Okay, and so here, what you do is lay out all your materials, and I'm gonna, like, you know, any of the corners here, I can actually lay it all out like that. And then if you have any openings, you can actually put your butterflies there. What I like to do is that anything that's got the straight edge, I'm going to apply that right onto the straight edge, so I don't really have to cut it out. So when you are creating this, you want to make sure that you got some areas that are filled. So just kind of lay it out to however your pieces are. So I'm going to put right there, and I'm going to save all these other pieces because they're going to go into my other card if needed. Okay, so I'm going to, my basic page right here is going to be right in the corner, just like this, and I might just even move this up a little bit. Okay, and so taking the glue, and like I said, I have already pre-cut most of the images out so that I'm not going to bore you from watching me cut these elements. And so basically I'm using my glue and covering the back side of the surface. And the reason why you need to do that is because when you're cutting, die cutting the middle part out, you want to make sure that you are covering everything. And so I'm going to actually pull this paper window sheet out, and I'm using my grid sheet paper so that everything is lined up. So I'm going to put this off to the side just a little bit, and I'm going to move this. No, I can't move it up because I've got glue already on here, so that's okay. I'm going to keep that in, And then I'm probably going to add the flowers right here, so I'm not going to cover all of the leaves. Let's see, just half the leaf right here. And just place it right over here. Probably got glued now onto the back side, so that's all right. Okay, I'm going to cut it off later. And then with this leaf or flower, probably got about there. So I'm going to just glue halfway. Right about there. I'm not going to worry about my glue too much because I'm going to show you another trick once it's all glued down. Unfortunately, you're wasting glue, but the glue goes a long ways, and it's okay. So I'm going to just add this guy right here, and just add a bit of glue to the back, which is the butterfly, and I'm basically covering as much footage as I can so that the images looks like it's floating. So here I got a rose, so I can put that there, or I can add another butterfly. Okay, so figure out where you're going to put your butterfly. So I'm going to just use that piece. This is so fun to make, actually, you know, because like you can take two pieces and create it as two different types of cards. And then I'm going to add maybe, let's see, right here, or do I want it right here? Turn this around. Apologize, there's flies flying around. Or do I want that? You know what? I'm going to leave it as is. And I'm going to turn my image around. And I'm going to remove all the glue with the baby wipe on the back, so that when I put it through my trimmer, I'm not going to get glue all over. Okay, so here is my sheet, and you can use your big trimmer or you can use your scissors, but I'm going to go with my big trimmer, so I'll be right back. Okay, and then all these little small pieces that I have here, I can also fill it in as we go, you know, and then just save them for your next card. So here I'm going to fill up this space right here. And then here, I'm going to just turn it over and use my paper snips to snip it. There. Okay, so then the next thing, I'm going to keep it turned over. And where the areas that are covered, you're going to I missed a step. So basically, what you're going to do is take your rectangular stitch framelits. Now, with the rectangular stitch framelits, when you're cutting this, it's going to create an opening, okay? And you can do any shapes that you want. So I'm going to just do this rectangular shape, just like this. I'm going to set this up. And sometimes you might need your big shot with the metal frame, okay, because it doesn't cut all the way through. So give it a try. So I'm just using regular acrylic pad, and I'm turning it around so that I can bend the acrylic pad the other way. And then here I'm going to center my framelits. And the framelits, I think it's 2.5 by 4. And then you can take your, if you're uncomfortable placing your acrylic pad right on top, you can go ahead, lift this up, center it again, and then just add washi tape right over top so that it's positioned as is. Okay, the second acrylic goes right over top, and you're going to crank this through. You may need to crank this through several times because it is going through the Mosaic raised designer paper as well as the window sheet, and sometimes it doesn't cut all the way through, so just keep in mind of that. Okay, so here is the acrylic or the framelits, and it doesn't cut all the way through, so what I did was I just kind of peeling it, and you can use whatever rectangular shape you have on hand or even a circle frame. So this part is not cutting, and so what I'm going to do is going to take my paper snips, and hopefully the bend will give me enough guidelines to cut it. And you see how when I said to make sure you have glue all the way inside of the element. Okay, so I'm going to save this piece, so watch out. I put this down, and then I got 2 thick Whisper white cardstock. I'm going to score this at 5.5. They're 4 1/4 by 11, and scoring this at 5.5. So 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5, and both are the same pieces. So it's basically 8.5 by 11, and it is cut down the middle. So I'm going to fold this up and then crease this well. So the next thing, what you want to do is turn this over, and wherever there are pieces of designer paper that is on the acetate, what you want to do is take your dimensionals and then just add dimensionals to the places where it's got paper, because it's not going to show. And you basically want it to look like it's floating up in the air. The more the merrier. Pop dots or dimensionals are not that expensive. So anything that you have, just go ahead and apply dimensionals onto the image. Okay, so once you got that done, you can start removing the backing. Okay, and then once you got that done, then place it onto your cardstock without stretching your window sheet. Okay, and I'm flipping it this way because I like the butterfly up on top. So carefully lay it down, and you got that. Okay, so the next thing is that you got your matting, and I use the colors that is the smallest of the designer paper. So this is soft suede and Whisper white. So here I'm going to use soft suede ink, and like I said, this ink or this stamp set is from Daisy Lane, and the best moments in my life happens with you. Okay, so I'm using that, and I'm just taking this and align this right up with my grid line paper. and then taking this and centering it right onto the Whisper White, and then just place it down. Hold it down for a couple of seconds so that the image and the ink transfers. And then once that's done, then you can take this and add glue to the soft suede mat. Here. And I'm going to use my dimensionals. Just add this guy, the sentiment, right in the middle. And so in this situation, I decided that I'm going to use my butterfly, or I mean my hummingbird, and depending on how he is flying, I might just have to cut off the wings, so it just depends. And so I might just even hide the T that goes right across here. So here, I'm going to take my hummingbird and then add more dimensionals on him. And I know I'm going to cut the wings off just by a touch, so not even too worried about it. So here I'm going to put dimensionals, and then if we have small little tiny dimensionals, I'm going to put that right on his tail. And maybe one more here. Okay, and then remove the backing. You know that I didn't put dimensionals on the wings, right? So here I'm going to take him and I'm going to place his beak right over top of the T, just like that. And then when you're going to flip it over, take your paper snips and trim off the edges. You can use this piece if you want, or you can just throw it in the garbage. It's okay. So here is that moment. And then if I want the beak to stay down just a bit, I'm going to add a bead of glue right over the T, and then just hold the beak down for a few seconds until the glue actually dries. That. And then if you need to add a little bit more to hide this area here, I either recommend a butterfly or even a bumblebee that I just cut out too. Okay, so here's my bumblebee. And it just depends on where you want to put the bumblebee. So I'm going to just put him right in the corner here and just add a glue right to the corner. Put my bee right here. Okay, and there you go, a floating frame. And it's like I don't have the press, which is okay because this is just as beautiful, and they're going to analyze it. So the second piece here is you can take your second paper, cardstock, okay, and then you're going to arrange this one however you like. Okay, you can go this way, and then if I'm doing hummingbirds, I probably will. So I'm going to turn this guy over and then add dimensionals to the back. Remember, only to where there are coverage, just like that. Okay, and then putting this guy here. And maybe another hummingbird. Okay, And then this time I have the same layout in my cardstock. Okay, and this is just remnants that I'm using the same sentiment. And I'm gonna put this guy probably right here. Just stamping it down. And then attaching it onto the soft suede mat. Okay, and then I'm going to put this guy up. You can either pop him up or you can leave it down secured. So it's up to you. So here I'm going to take my hummingbird and I'm going to pop it up. And again, not worry about the wings. So depending on this, so what I'm going to do is figure out where I'm going to position the hummingbird. You can either put him right to the upper right hand corner, or you can put it right in the middle, depending on the actual style of the mosaic. And so I think I'm going to put it right in the middle, and so my hummingbird is just going to fly like this. Okay, let's see, can we go like this? Okay, and because I don't have a whole lot of dimensionals right on the wings, I'm going to actually put a dimensional on the wing part. And remove the backing here. Okay, and then here, open up my card and snip away. So then the next thing is I'm going to take this, add glue to the back, and make it flat. Put this guy right underneath, and I'm going to put my sentiment right in the middle instead. And then if you have like a flower that you want to put a flower on with a sequence, so in order to step it up, I'm using sequence that we have, and these are iridescent sequins. Okay, these are the little flowers. And I'm just going to add flower sequence right onto my image. There you go. So you got two cards from one, and they're both beautiful, and I just love it. Okay, so if you have any questions, just give me a shout at liz.holloway@gmail.com. You can also find my my logo right at the bottom left hand corner, and if you are looking for a demonstrator, come and talk to me. I am a Canadian demonstrator, and this is brought to you with the Tammy White and this Team Stamp It blog hop. Bye for now. If you have any questions or you wish to place an order, please contact me at liz.holloway@gmail.com. You can also find me on Facebook pages at Liz Holloway Design or The Paper Fanatics.